Welcome back to Leeds Student Television. You're watching The Essential. Today marks the final day for students to nominate themselves in the Lead LUU 2026 election, happening here at the Leeds University Union. It's a campaign which decides who will represent over 40,000 students here on campus, making sure that student voices are heard, key decisions are made on campus, and what this will mean for the next year in this election. Previously, only 6 roles were up for the election, but for 2026, that number has expanded to 16, including full-time, part-time, and volunteering roles. 5 of those full-time paid student executive roles include welfare and liberation, student opportunities and development, academic experience, union affairs and community, and international experience. This year, however, also introduces new part-time engagement roles aimed at broadening representation and diversity across campus. These include LGBTQ+ representative roles, gender representative roles, diversity and equality roles, race and ethnicity roles, disabled and neurodivergent roles, and class and social inequalities roles. Today, we asked students across campus if they knew what Lead LUU was, and if they were going to vote, and if so, what would they like on campus and the union to be changed to better their student experience. So do you guys know what is happening with LUU and the upcoming elections on campus here?
No. I know that there is one, but I'm not sure what it's for.
And where did you kind of find that information? Did you see it through the campus or more online?
I saw it on social media.
Yeah, I've known about Lead LUU for a while.
Anything that you guys would say you're unhappy with on campus, things that you might want to change about your university experience here?
Not much, no. Maybe drink prices in the terrace.
Yeah,
quite expensive.
There's lots of things sometimes going on in the union that we don't know about, and there's lots of people there that we're unsure what they're there for.
Yeah, and kind of about being unknown. Obviously, we're unknown about the elections upcoming. Have you seen anything about them? Do you think there needs to be more marketing towards what's going on?
Probably, yeah.
And why do you think it's kind of important that we have this system where we elect students kind of on campus to have other students' voices heard?
I think that we all deserve to have voices, and that elections are like a great way to have them heard. And I think choosing a representative means that you get your voice heard better. I think every dealing I've had with the union has been really great.
Would you say that there is enough awareness around campus of other students about Lead LUU? We've spoke to some people and they think it's a good thing, but they don't really know much about it.
I think the last couple of years have seen 24% turnout, 22% turnout, those kind of statistics. So I think that it's clear from the turnout that people aren't all that aware. There's only 1 week of proper campaigning that the people who have nominated themselves actually get to do. So there's not, if you look at general elections, the political parties spent months and months campaigning, and if you have only a week or two of campaigning on campus, where a lot of students maybe not on campus all that regularly, it's difficult that way to actually get people to know about Lead LUU.
I spoke with an LUU coordinator to understand a little bit more about the recent changes in the election, how students have been voting in the past couple of years, and where students in Leeds can get the information for the next election. Welcome back to Leeds Student Television. I'm Emma Jackson and this is The Essential. Today we're here with Fabia, and can you introduce yourself a little bit more and the role here at LUU?
Yeah, of course. My name is Fabia. I'm the Policy and Campaigns Coordinator here at LUU, and what that means is I work in the Democracy and Campaigns team. I help look after student change makers with the ideas they have and help them navigate the policy process, which is the better forums.
And can you explain a little bit more about Lead LUU and the coming weeks? What is it and what do students need to know about it?
Yeah, of course. So LUU is a student union. What that means is we are completely member-led, and as part of being member-led, all students at the University of Leeds get to choose who their student leaders are. This year, Lead LUU looks quite different from previous years, and I'm happy to explain a little bit more about it. At the top of our student leadership pyramid, so to say, we have our student exec officers. Those are the students which are elected by every single student, and they have their each individual remits. They cover things from union affairs, which is the overall governance, to academic experience, which is working directly with the university, to welfare and liberation, international student experience, and opportunities and development, which is all about clubs and societies.
In recent years, do you know if there has been a bit of a more voter turnout? Have students been getting a bit more involved? Have people been more aware of Lead LUU?
Definitely. One of the most amazing things about LUU's election process is that we are consistently higher than the national average for voter turnout of students. Most places it's like 15%. On a good year. For us last year, it was about 23. That's about 6,000 to 7,000 students, which is absolutely insane. Off the top of my head, one candidate in particular got 2,800 votes for them being voted as first choice, which is absolutely insane. And compared to the year before, that also had a very incredibly high voter turnout. And one of the ways we can see that there's more engagement is the number of candidates we have. I think the year 2024, we must have had 30, 40 students going to go up for election. The year after that, we had 72. This year, we have somewhere along those lines. We're still looking at all the confirmed candidacies.
And speaking of more candidates and more students going for the roles, this year for 2026, you have created a whole new set of roles. So now there's 16 roles. Can you explain that a little bit more and why you guys have decided to create those extra roles?
Yes, so I'll give a little bit of context. In 2024, LUU did a bit of a review into student leadership and democracy. I sought to ask what students thought about it all. And on the whole, students said things were okay, but they could be improved. And some of the ways they could be improved were student leadership opportunities, transparency, and the effectiveness of student leaders. How it's all currently set out is that we have the 6 full-time officers who are elected in, and we have various student leaders underneath that who are either, some of them are interviewed, some of them are paid a stipend, some of them are completely voluntary. It's not consistent. So to make it more consistent, we've looked at the areas that we can improve, and they are faculty engagement representation and liberation representation. Those roles are currently no time restrictions. I think faculty engagement are paid a stipend of £100, whereas liberation representation not paid anything at all. So next year, those specific roles are going to be 7 hours a week, paid £12 an hour during term time. So that means students can go into those roles, and rather than having to prioritise other paid work, when it was something voluntary, they now can dedicate the time to be really effective, and that means students are more empowered to be more active on campus, be around friends, be around their faculty, to engage with those change-making opportunities, and that can manifest in so many different ways, as opposed to previously where a student had to really evaluate whether or not they could dedicate the time, and that one of the reasons for that has been because of the cost of living crisis. During that review, students said they had to prioritise paid hourly work over voluntary student leadership opportunities. So the new part-time officer structure was introduced to help combat that.
Amazing. And yesterday we spoke to a couple of students just asking them if they knew a bit about Lead LUU, and one student said that they believed that the campaigning time wasn't enough. Can you comment on that? Do you think that there is enough time for people to campaign and people to kind of get their voice and message out there?
I think this is the issue with student elections. There's never going to be enough time. For a lot of students, when we first start doing the marketing, this is the first time they're hearing of it, and that might be because they're first years, international students, master's students. So if it was up to me, the nomination process would be much earlier in the year. But for people to want to nominate themselves, they kind of need to be involved in the student union in the first place. And that, for some people, can take 2-3 months. For other people, it isn't until their final year. But we try and compensate for that, for making sure that the actual campaigning time is as active as it can be. So we help support students engage with student media, whether that's the Griffin or LSR. We really encourage the candidates to engage with societies, with staff-student partnership forums, to go out and talk to people. We offer a little bit of a budget so that candidates are reimbursed for any materials they want to use. And what that's meant in previous years is that some people have t-shirts or banners posted all about campus to give them a lot more visibility. Other students have used that money to help get a campaign team together. They might invite a bunch of friends, get some pizza and something, say, hey, will you do this for me? And that's manifested in ways such as, one year we had someone do a flash mob, which is pretty cool. We've had people do videos or TikTok challenges, and that's about 2-3 weeks in the month of March, and I think because it's in the month of March, students are on campus anyway, that's the time when there's a lot of visibility. So I mean, whilst if it was up to me, there'd be a longer campaigning time, but I think this is the best it could be with all those factors in mind.
Yeah, and you've mentioned March. That's obviously in the upcoming weeks. So as of now, what is the next stages for the election? What should students be looking out for, kind of putting dates in their diary?
Well, we now have nominations are closed, so we're in the process of processing all the candidates to make sure that they're confirmed. For all the voters out there, the first date to keep in mind is the 11th of March, as that's when campaigning will happen. So you'll probably be approached by students, or maybe in group chats or at society events, for people to come chat about why the elections are important and why you should vote for them. Please be open and welcoming to them, because it is quite scary for a lot of these students. From the 11th until the 15th of March is when they're out and about talking to you all. And then from the 16th to the 18th of March is the voting days. Voting is very, very similar to how society elections are. It's a single transferable voting process, which means rather than just voting for one person, you get to rank all of the candidates, your first choice, second choice, third choice, etc. And then we help process all the results to see who the winner is. And the reason for that is because if you as a voter, in a normal election, when you're only voting for one person, if that person isn't popular enough, your vote kind of gets binned. In this process, if the person you vote for isn't that popular, your second choice gets taken into account. If that one isn't popular, your third choice is taken into account, and that carries on until there's one person left standing. So 16th to 18th of March, vote for those days, and then the next big day will be the 23rd of March, which is when results will be announced.
Amazing. And for students, if they want to find out any more information or kind of know about anything else that is going on with Lead LUU, where would you say is best for students to get that information?
We have the website, luu.ac.uk. There will be a Lead LUU page on there. It will be at the forefront. The Instagram as well will have all the updates you need. If you have any specific questions about the election process, you can contact my team at democracyandcampaigns@luu.ac.uk.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
It's amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You've been watching The Essential.